I can see the agenda good, Aaron. Everything's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Good evening and welcome to the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District Board of Education Workshop Meeting for May 4th, 2026. Keep in mind that the workshops are hosted virtually and the link to the website is found at acvsd.org. Please, school board members, at any time throughout the meeting, jump in and ask questions or make comments. And at this time, Ms. Patton, can you please conduct a roll call?
Clifford Adams, Patty Anderson, Carrie Armagost, Wesley Baum, Bob Best,
Here.
John Burke, Brady Fight,
Here.
and Todd Gallagher.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. At this time, we do not have anybody from the public to participate in the workshop or voting meeting. And as you can see under presentations, Maddie Meyer will be back on May 11th to present the student report. And then Nancy Rousley from Mazzaro will be here to present the project manager report as well. And she'll be providing some final updates for the auditorium. Are there any board concerns that we can address at this time?
Hey, David, this is John.
Hi, John.
I'm just letting you know I couldn't get my phone on mute, so I've been on.
Gotcha.
All right, thanks.
I appreciate that, John. Under letter A, we will be breaking for an executive session to discuss personnel at the May 11th voting meeting. And under letter B, we have yet to receive anybody from Foxburg to submit a letter of interest. So please, if you know anybody, please reach out to them. I spoke to a local community member and put the word out again. We need to get that seat filled. We'll continue to advertise until that position is filled. Under the consent agenda, we just have a handful of field trips and conferences. Aaron, if you could take us to page 5. First off is Mrs. Hartle and Mrs. Plowman from the high school. They have the Do Something Good Club, and they plan to go out into the community and do some volunteer services. And they're going to be up in St. Pete Park, and we really appreciate their work that they give back to the community. You'll see Ashley Clausen, one of our special education teachers at the elementary school. She put in for a workshop on May 8th and it emphasizes the internal design and communication systems to improve environments, instruction, and professional practice for the students that she works with. And that will be through the TAN, which is an affiliation with the Pennsylvania Department of Education. And then next up, you can see Mrs. Cool, she put in for 10 people. I think we're going to have that full with teachers from the district and the West 2 program to go to a Patan workshop over the summertime. That'll be June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And they're really going to be focusing in on autism. And they'll be working with evidence-based practices and skills to improve the environment of the autistic support students as we continue to increase the student numbers and try to keep as many kids as we can at the district. And then finally,
David, on the autism, what grade levels will be attending that? Do we target certain grade levels or teach?
That's open for K through 12 down at the district, and then also at the West 2 program, and that's grades 8 through 12.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And then moving down through the March Madness Award, you can tell that Tracy Daly, she does the backpack program, and she's providing a reward bowling trip to a group of students. And they brought in a whole bunch of food to help donate out to some of our more needy families. And kudos to Tracy and the kids and everybody else for the work that they're doing. Okay, Aaron, you can take us back up if there's no questions or comments about the field trips and conferences. You'll see under the consent agenda, letter C, we have another student coming into the district. That's student 2673, kindergarten student, and they're going to be a 1302 student. And that's just a formality for us to approve that student. Moving into finance and purchase, we'll be paying the bills next Monday, and we'll get Stacy Redding's cafeteria report at that time. I'd like to direct your attention to letter I. That's a discussion about Mobilecom proposal. That's $56,698, and that's going to be paid for by the PCCD grant. Mrs. Thurber had been able to get program modifications. We do have money in the grant for that. This communication tool has been discussed at the safety committee on several different occasions. I'd like to thank Mr. Heil and Mr. Best for the work that they put into it. We actually got a portable radio system hooked on to one of our light poles by the football field, and they drove through a majority of the district, and communication has been really good throughout. We're hoping to get that unit when we purchase it. We're going to get 2 of them, and one put up into the Clarion County Tower up on top of the hill, so we'll even have a more robust network. And with this invoice that I have in front of me this evening, we're going to get 23 portable radios and 11 mobile radios for the buses and our school vans. And then we'll have 2 mounted antennas. And that's a one-time cost. There's really no service fee or anything tied into that. And this is a recommendation. We've been looking for a communication tool for close to a decade now. That is a recommendation from the safety committee as well.
David, is there a good warranty on that equipment so that if bad things happen, they can get replaced?
There is a maintenance coverage on that. It's a 1-year maintenance coverage. They're open 8 to 5, and they could provide support that comes into it. As far as the warranty goes, there's a 1-year labor on site and various materials that they'll support us as well from the manufacturer, all for 1 year.
Okay.
Good question, Patty. Thanks.
David, have you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Go.
Have you talked to the contractors to see what their thoughts are on this, and making sure that they're all aware that this will be a district requirement as a contractor for us?
No, Brady. As a matter of fact, we haven't reached out to them. We've been using a bunch of different demos with contractors. I think that they'd welcome something like this, but I will reach out to the contractors and touch base with them.
Okay. And then who's responsible once we get these units and as contractors come and go, who's responsible for installation and reinstalling them in new buses and vans?
Another really good question, Brady. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, all right. And one more for you here. Can we have a contract of some sort, or maybe just included in the agreement when we sign with them that they're responsible for any damages brought upon the equipment, repairing and replacement as well?
Might be
For
just
the-
an MOU.
Okay, for the contractors.
Mhm. The other question I have is training for everybody, so you can have consistency and expectation.
You both have some really good questions. I'll have to do a little bit of work and report back next Monday.
David,
Any other questions? Yeah, John.
just a couple things. You know, I would encourage the district to develop a policy, basically, communication protocols on use of the radio, how to talk on it. You know, it can get very confusing with people not knowing when to push the button and talk, and
Yeah.
um, you know, a lot of time, like the military will say, you'll transmit your sentence. You know, you, this is me, over, and then the other person knows how to, that they can reply or whatever.
Yeah,
So that's a
real good
suggestion.
point. Yep.
And then that you could include the you know, the usage and the return of the equipment, or repair if it's damaged, or that thing. And the other thing I just wanted to point out is, and it's negligible cost, but I think it's every 5 years or 6 years. We're gonna have to purchase or renew the FCC license on that.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is, you know, they tell the FCC, and I think, I'm not sure if that one is in Erie, but it may be the Pittsburgh-based FCC. But they grant you a license to communicate on those channels, and nobody else can use them. And it's negligible. It could even be a 10-year license, but it's probably like $100 or something like that.
Yep, I'll look into that as well. Thanks, John.
Yep.
Okay, all real good questions. I'll do a little bit of work before the voting meeting, and I'll report back out. And might take us a little bit of time to get a policy together, but really good ideas. I appreciate that. I guess we've just been so focused in on finding a solution to increase our communication. We haven't developed some of these other policies and procedures. So I do appreciate the feedback.
And I think that the solution sounds like a really good one, so I'm glad you're able to find something that would do that. Maybe, John, I hate to put your neck on the line here, but maybe you might be one that could be helpful in developing that training piece for the users as well, because there's both receivers and senders on that.
Oh yeah, yeah, all users. You know, I agree, Patty. I can I could put something together. It's not going to be an elaborate thing. It's just a basic user guide. So yeah, I don't mind doing that.
Whatever you could do to help out, John, we'll take it. And good idea too, Patty.
Just one thing with the transportation, we do have a meeting with all the contractors that usually happens in the summertime. So if that's something that you would like to include in that meeting, you know, we could have that training that day, or if you want it, not sure when these will be coming, but we could do that before if need.
Yep. Thank you, Courtney. We appreciate that.
I guess I'll throw one more thing in there real quick, and it's not a showstopper or anything like that, but it is a digital system. So I guess my point is, you got to train your ear to hear it, if that makes sense. It's not analog. It's not like a basic FM where it's crystal clear. It sounds like spoken English. It's encrypted, so it has a little bit of a warble to it, so to speak. So that's something, you know, the users are going to have to get used to.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't used it. It's just we've received some feedback from Mr. Howell, Mr. Best, and some of the maintenance guys. So yeah, it's exciting that we found something to use, and more to come. We'll continue to provide updates on that. Okay, moving on. As you can see, we are working very diligently on the budget. On Monday, we'll have several different options for us to choose from. We also have a resolution coming for Clarion County and the reassessment as well. We've been working with the other school districts as well as PASBO to develop that. And I'd like to commend Courtney Chalmers for all the work that she's put into not only the budget, but that resolution as well. So we're going to be discussing raising taxes. We're going to be discussing the overall preliminary budget so we could get that out on display. That's why our meetings are moved up a little bit in May so that we can approve that in June and have it submitted to the state by June 30th. As you can see on letter K, we're going to have 3 different budgets in front of you, a 0 increase, somewhere between 0 and 4.7%, which is the max index permitted, and then also the max. And, if we max it out, it's going to be roughly 190,000 additional dollars coming in for next year's budget. We are going to break down all those mills. Just keep in mind, if I can direct your attention down to Clarion, that's going to change drastically. And with the reassessment, theoretically, 1/3 of the houses and businesses go up, 1/3 stays the same, 1/3 goes down, but they reevaluate the mill. So that mill is going to look completely different. And Courtney's going to be able to break that down a little bit more to you. It's going to be right around 5 mills moving forward. So again, we're doing a lot of work. We are meeting with the Finance Committee on Wednesday evening. We're going to be discussing next year's expenditures as well as the revenues. And as you can tell, there's a different background. I'm not in my office. I'm in Harrisburg. I drove out this afternoon. We're meeting with our committee this evening after the workshop. And then tomorrow, I'll be spending the day in the Capitol. It's the only day during the year that we'll have both the House and the Senate. And it's going to be very active, and we have a deep agenda. And one of the items that we'll be discussing is the rebalancing effort. There's either 87 or 88 schools, depending on who you ask, that are in more than one county. And last year, we brought in some legislation to have the legislators make a modification to that to give school districts the ability to increase or not increase individual counties. And right now, the way it happens is when we choose to raise taxes, it goes through rebalancing, and generally speaking, 2 counties go up a little bit and 2 counties go down a little bit. So this is going to give school boards across the Commonwealth the ability to either increase taxes per county or not increase taxes per county. Even when we're left at 0 and we put 0 into the formula, it does change the taxes just ever so slightly in all 4 counties. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, and that's just one area that we'll be discussing, and we'll present that on Monday.
David, on the budget, when that goes on public display, if we make some changes to the budget after it goes on display, how does that? We don't have to repost it, or how does that work?
It depends on what kind of changes. We can make some minor adjustments. Generally speaking, we want to try to get it right the first time, and if we don't vote on it, that's why we have that meeting in June. We just want to be fully transparent to our constituents, and then we can reschedule another voting meeting if it doesn't pass. But we do have to, again, approve that budget and have submitted by June 30th.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Once we get through that budget, there are a number of different items that I do want to address. Letter M is a request from Mrs. Cool in the Special Education Department as playground IEP software. And this is an AI generated tool that would provide our teachers with the ability to write clear and specific IEP goals, continue to stay up on monitoring, really helps to ensure our compliance with special education, and helps for the scheduling, and it's a tool that can enhance special education, and those teachers put a lot of time into writing IEPs, and this could help lower down their time within doing paperwork and give them more time to work with the kids. And this is something that Mrs. Cool is recommending. And after I looked into it and realized the capabilities, I think it's something we should consider as well. Letter N is a motion. It's a donation by the Marin siblings. They came in and provided $100 in memory of Jim Marin. We are working with the athletic director and the family to figure out how to spend the money. We're I believe just under $3,000 right now. And we're looking at different banners up at the high school and some different stuff for the basketball and golf teams. So we do appreciate everybody and their donation. Letter O, I'd like to clarify that motion. We did make an error in the district office with that change order. Actually, we're getting a credit of $390.51 because of the changes in some of the lights inside the auditorium. We expected that we'd be spending a little bit more money on removing asbestos, but we didn't have to get into it. So we're going to modify that motion just so you're aware. We're not paying out the additional $8,700. We actually are getting a credit. So we'll collect, fix that and have it corrected for May 11th. Then letter P, this has been an ongoing discussion with the football field committee, and we discussed it last month. We did develop an RFP. We had it posted. We have 4 companies that are interested. We've yet to open up the bids. That'll be Wednesday about midday. We'll sit down. We'll take a look at the bids. I have reached out to Central Electric. I've reached out to Penelect. I've contacted several local electricians to see if anybody would come in and do an assessment on those poles that the legs are hanging on. And at this time, nobody's interested or willing to do any kind of assessment. So that's going to be an ongoing discussion with the people who submit the bids, that we're going to have to make sure they assess it. I mean, I visually looked at the pools. They look fine to me, but I'm not a electrician or an assessor by any means. So that's something that'll be ongoing discussion. And, you know, we had an anticipated cost of around $75,000. And we'll open up those bids. We'll communicate that out to the school board and have that discussion on May 11th. And again, that's part of the bond.
David, Osmos is the firm that basically does all pole inspections for electric companies and such forth. I don't know whether we want to reach out to them. We can get anywhere with them. But as long as we make the contractor aware of, you know, the poles are 30 years old or thereabouts, and they can do a self-inspection, and maybe they may even have somebody on staff that is certified in that area. Yeah. As long as we make them aware of it.
Yep, absolutely. I appreciate that, Bob, and that's what I was hopeful. Letter Q is a annual request from the Foxburg Free Library of $600. They do a lot of summer programs. There's a lot of volunteers down there. It's a great collaboration that we have with that Foxburg Library. So we are making a recommendation for the annual $600 donation. And then you'll see we're just getting real close to being completed with the high school auditorium. We have posted a couple more pictures, and the progress up there is looking absolutely fantastic. The same thing with the track. We're going to get lines painted. But as we're finishing off, we have pay application number 7 with Fred Burns Construction of just over $22,000 in front of you this evening. And then also pay application number 2. We actually overlooked this application earlier. So this is work already performed through Bright Electric, and it's just over $40,400, and that's in front of you this evening. And then Nancy, she submitted her bi-monthly invoice as well through Macero, and she's been up there helping out. And she's actually going to cut back to 1 day a week and extend her time out a little bit longer just to make sure she's here. And she's part of, you know, the punch hole list at the very end to make sure everything's done to our specifications. Are there any questions or comments about the items in front of you this evening, from finance and purchase, the budget, anything that you'd like me to gather before Monday? Okay, hearing on, we'll move down into personnel. And letter A, that's a anticipated retirement from myself from the district. At the end of next year, I'll be here for 20 school years. I got hired on as the assistant junior high principal, served a principal role at the high school for 5 years, elementary principal for about a half a year, special ed director, federal programs coordinator. I've been superintendent at the end of next year. It'll be 15 years, and appreciate everything that AC Valley's done for me and my family. And I'm going to be here. Kind of leads into the next motion that we have in front of you to ensure a smooth and thoughtful transition, and work closely with the board and district leadership as we go through a transition. We're losing High school principal has been here 15 years, elementary principal has been here about 10 years, and myself. So we're planning next year as a mentorship, continue to work with the business office. We just have a whole lot of new staff in here. So I look forward to sharing as much institutional knowledge that I have with the incoming administration. And whenever I started back in the 05-06 school year, kind of the same thing. We had a complete turnover with the administration. So we've been through it before, and we'll get through it again. And that's part of the reason why I submitted that letter, just to let the board and community know that my contract is up June 30th, 2027. I'm 30 years in as a educator, and loved every one of the years that I put in. Moves us right into letter B. We had 10 applicants. We interviewed 4 people. Well, we had 4 people slated. 1 did not show up. And then we have 2 that we're going to interview on Thursday evening and make a recommendation on Monday, the 11th, to hire. In addition to that, we have a number of other items that we'll be discussing. We did advertise for a 3-hour light duty custodian to replace a resigning part-time custodian. And then we also have a part-time district-wide custodian that had moved into a full-time position. So we had advertised. We do have a couple applicants for each one of those positions. And then we also have a summer mower. So the same person who was our part-time district-wide custodian did the summer mowing work too. So we're trying to replace those positions. They're separate positions that we have in front of the board. And James is going to work on making a recommendation to hire. And then as we continue to work on the co-op with Union School District, we are taking over the girls basketball program. So at the end of the year, Union always opens up their position. So we did advertise. We had 1 applicant, the current head varsity basketball coach, and the athletic committee is going to be making a recommendation to hire as well. And Aaron, if you could slide down a little bit more. We also, in front of you this evening, have a letter from Scott Austin, and many of us know Scott very well. He's been with the district since '93. Scott wrote a really nice letter. Both of our retirement letters are, in the board docs. Scott's been an educator for 39 years. He's been with the district 33. I appreciate everything the district did, and we appreciate everything that he has done. And Scott's a wonderful educator and part of what makes AC Valley great. And then we do have a motion underneath to advertise to replace that position. And as we finish up under personnel, we have been working with Caleb Penny, our new head boys basketball coach, and he's making a recommendation to hire on Ian Runyon. Ian's an AC Valley graduate. He's going to be hired on as a assistant junior varsity basketball coach. And last year he was our junior high basketball coach. So he has no experience. So we'll, look at the contract, make sure we get the appropriate starting salary down for him. Are there any questions or comments about personnel as we work our way down through policy? Okay, hearing none, we have the second reading of policy 146, 815.1, and policy 816. We've done a lot of work on those, and we do appreciate the board supporting them. We got through the second clean reading, then Ms. Patton will work with PSBA, and we'll get those posted to the website. James will provide an update, as well as Nancy, on facilities. And just moving into transportation, we have one motion. It's from Irwin Transportation to remove the 2010 Chevy Suburban at the VIN number listed. We haven't had too many committee meetings since this past April meeting. It seems like it's gone by quickly, but we'll report out from the Finance Committee. And before we adjourn, I'll open it up to see if there's any new business that needs to be addressed, anything that we haven't covered that we can discuss at this time.
Just to play at the Crawford Center over the weekend. I attended it. I guess it was Friday night. The kids did a really nice job. Would have been nice if they could have had it at the auditorium, but it wasn't quite finished yet. But the Crawford Center served as a a good backup for it. But the kids did a good job. It was a lot of kids participated in it. It was nice to see that many participate. So
Thank you, Bob. I concur. I went over to the Sunday matinee, and it was great to get back into the Crawford Center. Amy Whitehill and her crew couldn't have been more happy having us there. The kids did great, and it was a lot of fun had by everybody. So thank you for that. Okay,
I
if there,
I have a
yep.
question, and I don't know where it fits, so I saved it for the end. So it likely would have gone up maybe under personnel, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So it's the whole bidding process. We've got new administration coming in multiple positions, and I know that it's a past practice on this bidding and moving people around. I understand, I think, pros and cons of it, but I have concerns on where it may lead us to other places. And I I just need to know, is that something that we need to continue? I know it's already been advertised. I saw the note in our Gmail. But I just have concerns about that. So I'll just throw it out there for discussion. My concern is that it creates different openings or maybe aligns people differently. We have a lot on our plates in terms of trying to synthesize and understand academic achievement. Are the right people in the right places? Does moving that around take that out of administrators' hands? Does it make it better for administrator hand? Like I'm just concerned that too much shuffling the deck creates further complications.
Oh yeah, your concerns are valid with the administration, and I know I can speak for the elementary principals as well. Um, you know that past practice has been in there. Anytime we have any kind of opening, we're moving people around. We make sure that certificated teachers are placed in a proper location, but depending on seniority, they can move down into those primary grades, which could open up other ones. At this time, we will not be displacing anybody, and the administration has the discretion because there's duly certified teachers that we have, that we're not going to put somebody out of work or create positions where we'll have to try to hire additional staff. We are not adding any kind of staff. We're just moving into primary levels to have 3 teachers, to lower down the number of students per teacher down there, to try to target some of our learning capabilities.
Is there in my world that would be like an internal or lateral move. Doesn't change any of your pay scales or anything like that, but is there any concept of interviews for purposeful reasons to move people around instead of just letting seniority be the governance, or is that a no-no with the union?
Yeah, that's there's no pay changes or increases. It would stay contractual with years of service. And there's never been any kind of interviews. It's just purely based off of seniority.
Do they have to be accepted for a move if it doesn't seem like the move administration might want to see? And I'm not, I have no knowledge of who anybody is that would be moving around. Just to be clear, I'm just asking the questions to make sure we're able to offer the best education for our kids as possible.
Yeah, I mean they're all highly qualified, or so there's no issue as far as that goes, as far as people moving into those positions. And now, I mean, again, Patty, as much as the administration doesn't like this practice, it's something that we've been doing at the district for more than 20 years. It's been in place before I got here. And we just do it for the elementary teachers, the gen ed teachers down there. We don't bid around at the high school. We place them where they're needed most. Dr. Jordan's been working on that schedule for 15 years, and we move people around. And special education teachers, same thing. We move them around from grade level to grade level, but for these elementary teacher openings, this is something that we've been doing at the district for a long time.
David, the certification for elementary used to be K-6, then there was a K-4 certification. Is that still the case? And I guess that could come in, could factor in with the bumping process or the bidding process, or?
Yeah, you're correct. At one time it was K-6, and then it went to a K-4, and then they did a middle level 4-8, and tied on to the school code this past budget year. They're going back to K-6, and they're going to grandfather the other folks in that were K-4. But yeah, I mean, if people weren't certified, if they have the K-4 and a 5th and 6th grade position opened up, which is not going to be the case, it's just going to be the opposite, it could impact their move.
Okay. All right. And then looking over I guess this bid outline, we have 18 regular ed in elementary, and then looks like we actually have 10, I guess, special ed and specialist interventionists. Are any of those paid with a grant, or is that all district money that's funding all 10 of those positions?
We have a Title I reading teacher. We have 2 title teachers and a title aide, but we have enough revenue coming in from Title I to pay for the cost and salary and benefits for 1 title teacher. As far as the special ed teachers, the West 2 teachers, they're obviously covered by the West 2 grant, but the other teachers down at the district for special education are all paid out of district money, salary and benefits.
Okay, thank you.
And we've increased that, Bob, just by trying to take back more of the intermediate unit classes. We feel as if there's a significant savings in transportation cost and intermediate unit cost. And not only that, but we can educate the kids better and at their local schools. So we have increased that number of teachers that we've had over the years, but it's been due to the needs of our students.
Thank you.
Sure thing, Bob. Anything else, Patty?
Yeah, just one more. You just triggered it in my brain. I'm sorry, I didn't think of it sooner. Budget wise, gas fuel prices going up. I know there's some level of formula for the buses and contractors. Have we heard anything what the projection for it usually changes the beginning of the year. Do we have any idea what the talk is there? I feel like there's a number of regular freight company type things that are having changes in costs, and nobody wants to make our bus contractors destitute because we need them. But are we accounting enough in there for whatever changes maybe down the road for that in the budget? And that's kind of probably a crystal ball kind of answer, that nobody has the crystal ball, but I feel like we ought to consider building a little bit in there just in case.
Yeah, I'm going to defer to Courtney Chalmers. She's been working with that formula. Can you speak on that behalf, Courtney, as far as what the rate's going to be for next year?
Yeah, so everything that we have so far figured out with what we need. I mean, there's no way for us to change what we're getting because it's the state rate or the, I mean, we would have to, there are some things that we need to look at regarding like reporting, because when we report certain buses for our state reporting at the end of the year, like buses have to be shared. So we don't always get 100% of what we could get for all those buses. I definitely think, and I know this was something that we may have talked about. I'm not sure if it was the finance committee, but we did talk about adding a little bit of a cushion for fuel for the van contractors, because that was one of the questions that somebody had brought up previously, is doing that due to the fuel prices. But I don't think we went any further than just mentioning that we needed to make a buffer for that.
Okay.
And go ahead.
I know in years past, I don't know how long ago it's been, but there was a spike in fuel costs. David, do you recommend or recollect, I guess, did the state provide any fuel, like a fuel surcharge, additional payment to cover additional fuel costs? A couple of years ago, I know.
No, Bob, I don't recall that taking place. If it had, it's just because I wasn't involved with transportation.
Yeah, we, to my knowledge, as well, we've never had that. The only time we ever had a situation where we did something was more so during COVID. I know we did some special things during COVID, but that was it. I don't know if Lori's on here. She knows exactly what that was during COVID that they did.
I'm on here, but I don't know without like looking back through our
Okay.
files what we did. We did do something, but I can't recall off the top of my head what it was.
I'm not sure exactly who regulates this school busing and school vehicles, but I do know the PUC for like other transportation forms, taxis, limousines, etc. It's right in the code that they can automatically adjust their pricing for rising fuel costs. So I don't think the PUC regulates buses and school vehicles. I'm not sure though.
No, and every contractor, van contractor and bus contractor, signs a contract at the beginning of the year stating this is what they will get. So unless we would want to add something into that contract specifically for this instance, that's something we would probably want to look at. But
Yeah, there are some schools that do like the formula plus X amount of dollars, just in general. So I mean, you can still use the formula and just choose a dollar figure that you want to add on to it or something like that.
I guess the upside of that is, I mean, we won't have a lot of transportation during the summer, and hopefully fuel rates will be down by the fall, but no would guarantee that, of course. But yeah, I'd agree with Lori. I mean, we need to look at something, maybe just a flat amount, if it's warranted, when the time comes to, as a fuel surcharge to help the contractors out.
Somebody chimed in earlier about transportation meeting this summer. I didn't catch who it was.
yeah, we'll have a transportation meeting this summer with all of our contractors to get prepared for the school year.
Okay. Do you know when that is, or is the date been set, or?
We don't have a date set in stone yet. I know there were working, with schedules because we needed to add some things with Miss Thurber and Miss Cole. But we try to have it usually like first or second week of August so that we can have plenty of time to change routes for van drivers or make changes to bus routes if we need. So it should be preferably right there, like the first couple weeks of August.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to shoot to have a policy ready by then.
Okay.
For communications, etc. So that'd be a good time to probably spring it on them or train them, I guess.
Yep, and I'll help you out with that policy too, John, wherever you need it.
Yeah, if you can send me a format or something, David, just something, a framework where I can just build off of it.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay, any other comments before we adjourn for the evening? Hearing none, I appreciate your time. I'll see the Finance Committee Wednesday evening and the rest of the school board on Monday, May 11th. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.